do have one last question.
Let's do it.
So here we are. We're on the backside of COVID,
Right.
backside of this pandemic, right?
Correct.
Still, without a doubt, there are some things going on. But you said that this was a hard thing going. It hits Jim hard. I get it. Hey, look, I was a profiteer for that because I now have a full gym at my house.
Right.
Because of
Right.
COVID.
Right. Yeah.
I was able
exactly.
to get all the things I need. But when it happened, like, I took some plywood, I made a box, and I took
Beautiful.
2 2x4s and a 1-inch piece of pipe
Yep.
and made a pull-up bar.
Awesome.
And I did a ton of burpees and pull-ups and box jumps, and that was it.
Right.
But then as I was able to find pieces, I was able to build it. And now, like, I don't go to a gym anymore. I don't
Right.
have to.
Right.
But I like to invite my buddies over, and usually that's what happens when I meet with a client. I'll be like, hey, why don't you come over to the house?
Right.
And I'm working out this afternoon, and we'll have very similar conversations and just kind of hear what's going on. And because he's not thinking about, I gotta tell this guy the perfect answer to these questions. I'm like, no, bro, just pick up the weight and move it.
Right. Exactly.
And I'll ask you a question while you're not really thinking
Exactly.
about it. But so how has post-COVID been for you and your business? Unfortunately, you've probably seen some uptick, but
Right.
But at the same time, like, talk about that success,
Okay.
because I know there's got to be some really cool metrics in there that say, hey, look, like,
Right.
it makes a difference.
Post-COVID has had a positive impact on multiple levels. One, being able to reconnect, and even just us doing this right here, being able to sit and have this conversation, whereas a lot of people were sheltering in place for so long, that people now being able to find a place to reconnect and kind of find another social situation has been really good. For life coaching, so one of there are 3 real areas that I focus in on life coaching. Career and vocation is one of them. Dating is another one, and then health and wellness. And all 3 of those look different on the other side of COVID. So during COVID, and if you look at the news right now, they're saying we're in a time of like the Great Resignation, and a lot of people are looking for help and all that kind of stuff. And it's because a lot of people have shifted. They were just doing stuff as a job, but not doing what they love. Mm-hmm. So as a life coach, from a life coach perspective, I have really been helping people discover who they are again, and not this version of themselves that they had created to fulfill a job. So there have been a lot of people who were just doing this and they got used to it and they were good at it, but it's not what they wanted to do. And the money was good and the benefits were good and it gave me this, and this, but it's not really who I am at my core. So, but you've created this persona that you can't really separate from who that actual person is and the passion that that person had. So then you're now in a space where, like, you've stepped away from this job because of COVID, you're working at home, you're taking these Zoom calls, but that allowed you to reconnect with yourself in a way that's like, what do I want to explore? And then through the internet and social media, and that's why I feel like there was an uptick in YouTube and TikTok, because people now are gravitating towards the things that they naturally had an inclination to gravitate to before, but they had pushed down because of the demands that were placed upon them by this other career. So helping people reconnect with themselves in that capacity. I think dating has looked a little different post-COVID as well. So people now are trying to date in a more healthy way rather than just fulfilling a human connection because we were sheltering in place for so long, that you would take almost anything that would come your way. Anybody, you're just reaching out, just casting a line, and whatever came up on that line, you were responding to. And let's look at those habits that have been formed over the last 2 years and find healthier alternatives to find what you're actually looking for. Like, what are you looking for? Not just a human connection, but what in that human connection are you looking for? So that, again, it goes back to the what and the whys. So I have had people come and explore that option a lot. So my coaching has really done a lot more. People are looking to reconnect, but then there's also been a big play on mental health. And so some people don't necessarily want the clinical setting, sitting in somebody's office, talking to their clinician. They like this environment where they can kind of come, again, talk therapy gym, they can work out, we can go for walks, we can have a very formal but informal conversation, and in a way that leads to healthier habits, healthier lifestyles, and a healthier person.
I love that, man. It's one of the things that you said there, but I just want to ask you your
Okay.
kind of thoughts on this. And you made a comment, people felt that they were stuck in a job.
Right.
And so what's that like, unpacking the fact that, hey, like some of the guys I'll work with, they'll feel like, I have to do this. I'm like, well, why do you feel like you have to?
Right.
And so I had started unpacking this whole nother level of what are the fears, what are those wounds, what are those stories, that those lies that you believe.
Okay.
Well, if I don't do this, this is, I'm not gonna, fear I'm gonna miss out on something,
Right.
maybe, or what? I mean, are those some of the conversations that you're having to have in
Yes.
these areas, and
Right.
what's that like?
Being in a college town, oftentimes the people that I talk to, when it comes down to it, their fear is oftentimes letting their parents down. There is a lot of social pressure as far as what success looks like, and that oftentimes looks like something material. So just because you went to college and you graduated in this field, now I have to live this lifestyle. So there's a lot of people, especially in Auburn, with it being a engineering school, there are a lot of engineers here. They feel like they have to make.
It's a well-to-do town.
Right, it is. Right, it is.
Like,
There
there is a level of, there is definitely a higher level of income in this town.
For
And
sure.
so I mean, it's a lot to live up to.
It is, and so you want to live up to that. So now I'm in the field that allows me to live up to that, but it doesn't allow me to live my truth.
Oh, I thought was this learn nutrition as well?
No, no worries. It's next
Okay,
door.
thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. But it doesn't allow them to live their truth. So they want to do the thing that they want to do, but they also don't think they can reach the lifestyle they want to live if they do what they want to do.
I love that, man. So, I mean, so I have, and you've heard me refer to it as well. I have I don't want to say a leadership consulting company, but it is definitely a performance and transition kind of coaching company myself. And it's called the Forge Leader. And our tagline is who you are, what to do next. A
Right.
Forge leader knows who they are and
Right.
what to do next.
Right.
And so many times I find like people know what they're supposed to be doing, but have no idea who they are.
Right.
And they don't realize they really need to answer that question before they can get into that, because that just gives them clarity. It gives the thing that you've been talking about all day, which is the why
Right.
behind that. I mean, for me, when I look back and I look at why I've started this podcast and why I got into coaching, and it's to help men become the leaders they're called to be, to challenge and encourage them to become and equip them to become the men and the leaders that they're called to be. When I say leaders, I even don't even like using that word, because it has this connotation of, that means I'm a leader of business. No, that means you're a good husband.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, right.
A good dad.
Right.
Because you're leading those people. And if you have, unless you're living under a rock somewhere and have no social interactions with anybody,
Right.
you're a leader because you have influence.
Right.
And so it's without a doubt, I mean, it's what I think about every single day. It's what I don't want to say I dream about, but it's what drives me in the mornings to get
Right.
up. And it's what breaks my heart when I see men, fathers, husbands not leading and living the life that they're called to be, that they're created to be, that they're enabled to be. And I even pray this, like, God, break my heart for what breaks yours. And he, without a doubt, has burdened me with that. And I'm able to look back at my past and see why that's inside of me. And that's really kind of the process we use.